WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of Resonance Rises. So, this episode, we're going to work on some more industrial craft power. So, these are our machines that are going to be pretty much we're working on making all of our machines work together. This is not automation, manual effort, etc., etc., etc. But we're going to need to get some machines that are going to work on our automation. Now, I don't really like using the Nexus, really. It feels a little cheaty, and maybe if I were to get stuff from a quarry and pump it in, that might be the best way to power a Nexus or several Nexuses, depending on how my huge, maybe I'll call it the Citadel, works out. But that's going to take quite a bit of energy to get up to snuff, because frankly, these energy cubes can only last so long in powering the filler that I'm currently using to clear or excavate the area. Let's go over there. And, oh, that was a perfect hit, my friends. That was a perfect hit. Let's continue with this filler. Ha! Who says that there's no filler in these episodes? Anyways, what we're going to work on first of all is get a few diesel generators going and flooding the markets with energy into an energy storage room. Once we get that set up, just a simple maybe an MFE going to an MFSU, actually going for an do I have everything for an MFSU? I probably do not. Definitely don't have the sapphires, or even if I did, it's a pain in the butt, folks. It's a pain in the butt. Anyway, so just a few diesel generators to start with. That'll give us enough energy to jumpstart the next part, which is probably doing a bit of automation. Probably automation just for the heck of it to make our lives easier, because frankly, we haven't been doing that much lately in, well, any of the episodes, really. I want to get some sort of automatic circuit production going, but that'll require a few machines, which we'll have to get at in a bit. So first of all, let's get started with a few diesel generators. Diesel generators, second most effective way of burning fuel. And we're going to need a few generators. We have the circuits and we have some refined plates. We have enough for 6 of these, and 6 will work out to probably enough. 72 EU per tick. Yeah, 72 EU per tick, and it's not going to be constantly running because frankly that would just be stupid. So, iron ferni and batteries and etc. Do we have the tin required for all this? Let's look in here first. Okay, we got that. We got that. And we got 3 batteries. We're going to need a few more batteries. And where is our tin? We got some redstone. That'll be good. We got some tin. There we go. So once we get our tin and our refined iron, which is over here, we can continue on. Hey, not the hopper. I do not want the hopper. Okay, this is probably enough refined iron for everything else that we're going to do. If actually, we can probably make a bit more other stuff later. That is very helpful. And those bullets are really calling my name. I really want to see what they are, but it doesn't really matter too much at this point. So, first of all, let's go with, actually, now that I think of it, 8 diesel generators might be a good thing to start out with. 8 would be a nice round number, and we'll be able to get into other parts once we get that going. So 8 here, and we got the generators, we got the circuits, but we're going to need a few more refined iron plates. That'll just be 10 more plates. I think 10 more plates will be sufficient. Let's see. Ooh, that's a perfect number. Now, yeah, we should probably think of that later, but I want to get some sort of automatic circuit processing. I want to be able to just throw in electrum, refined iron, rubber, as well as copper, and get circuits at the end. It's going to be a long process for the circuits to get the most efficient way of doing things, but seeing as it's a server, time is not as much of a currency as it normally is in our single-player world. We're not going to just jump at full steam ahead with nuclear reactor components, because frankly, that's going to be destructive. Destructive may be the correct word for that. So, diesel generators, we'll focus on getting these laid down, and actually, right now, we need to make another MFE. And let's see, MFE is easy enough to make. Do we have everything that we need for that? We have the rubber. I know that. We have gold. So we do have everything. Let's see, one piece of gold? Yeah, actually, one piece of gold and 8 pieces of rubber. Not going in any sort of system to refine it to a much more efficient way. We can just do that, get all of those, and just also go with this. Diamonds, I know, I hate it. I hate it when you're gone so soon from me, but it just doesn't last. It just doesn't last. Let's just get our storage before we make a complete goof of ourselves. Okay, so MFE, here we go. We got that, we got that, we got everything that we need. In fact, let's put this over here, and I think we can just blitz in like so. Ah, fudge. Like so. That did not work. Okay, let's go for normal casting mode. Apparently, I am sucking at this. There we go. I wonder what... I'm going to have to play with that later on, but oh, we're actually full in fuel. That's not good. We don't want to overfuel ourselves, so let's go with that. And what we're going to want to do is take fuel from this section and bring it over to diesel generating, or rather generated with our diesel generators. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do we want one there, or do we want it moved over here? Well, we want to have everything hidden. So if we were to put it here, now this isn't the most space efficient. I know that for sure, but I just want this room to be aesthetically pleasing as well as being functional. So maybe if we just move the piping over to here and having the wires come out here, 7, 8, that'll be sufficient for my OCD. I don't really have OCD. Actually, I may have a small bit of OCD. I have no clue. I haven't really crunched the numbers using a piece of graph paper. Is that OCD talking? I have no idea, but I'm not going to worry about that. In fact, I'm going to design this so that I can figure that out. Okay, Liquiduct's here, and are we going to put it in a manner where we can in the future add them? Or yeah, we can probably shift our Liquiducts at a later time so that they are in the correct areas, but for now, for future diesel generators, but for now I think this will be good. And I know in previous episodes in my single player series, this is going to be just shy of how many I need. I know in previous episodes in my single player series I used some routers and buckets so that only 1 liter, or rather 1 bucket, would be in the system at a given time. I'm not going to do that this time since we have such a high amount that it just doesn't seem worthwhile to go to the extra effort for that, and it's not really combined in such the same way. Maybe we can do that at a later time, just have a wall of diesel generators, but for now having the 10 buckets into each of the systems for now should be sufficient. And what the heck am I looking for? I have no clue, but it might be good if I were to speed this up a bit. Okay, let's get this going to a degree where we can actually work on the remainder. Okay, like so. So we're now connected to the network with fuel, and all that's good. And we'll bring all of this energy into the energy storage room. So we have an energy production room, and this will be our energy storage room. Let's go a bit into here, and our cable will come out here. And this cable will bring to the storage room, which, how are we to have this? If we were to have the cables input going into here, and then output down. So if our MFE, not connecting anything really, if our MFE was here, let's face that, and it outputs downwards, that will be good. So we'll be able to go and check how much energy each MFE or MFSU, depending on what we have here, currently is set to. And we'll be able to output the energy underneath the floorboard right away. Now, do we want this dedicated energy storage, or is there any way to, guessing there's no way to have it as a complete energy storage thing unless we were to have like a wall. The wall has a lattice of cables and then the output like that. Well, I suppose this isn't going to be our primary storage. At least it's going to be some way to get things going, so to speak. And how are we going to have things? This is going to be our, yeah, let's have this as storage slash project automation room, and we'll have our automation project later on going into here. So we'll have to bring our cables up here, up through the wall, or rather through the floor and to the wall. That will be an easy enough thing to do. I'll do that off camera, and then we can get this all hooked up. Once again, demonstrating my classy waste of resources. Let's go with a nice lattice over there later on. We'll just need to hook this up once we get the generation going. A generation! And then we'll go with this. We'll have 7 cables for whatever we decide to put over here. That'll be an easy enough endeavor, actually, now that I think of it. 7 should be enough for whatever we manage to put there. Then we'll be able to clean this up, and it'll be nice and jolly. We won't need to worry too much about it. Okay, let's put our diesel generators down, like so. That actually looks quite nice indeed. And we don't have any liquid in it, thus it's not outputting anything. So all we need to do to output that is to open up our yellow lever. Let's turn, okay. We're going to need to go back to our oil well Bravo so that we can continue pumping oil. I think our redstone engines probably overheated, therefore they're non-functional. I think they stop working once they overheat. But anyways, let's flip the switch. We'll get our fuel to decrease, go through the tubes, not tubes really, and then we'll get them to start charging our MFEs. That, assuming we actually have the blight things connected though, because that would be a helpful thing to have. And you can see the pistons. Oh, I kind of like that. In a, way that will probably make me spaz out, but I kind of like that. Yeah. That works well. Okay, let's turn our refineries back on. These are probably still too hot, aren't they? No, they're outputting. Okay, they're going. And we're getting energy, aren't we? Yes, we should be. There we go. We got energy, and it'll be up to 600,000 EU. That'll be, well, actually, I think that's already more than what we have over there. So that'll be good. That will be good. And if we wanted to, we can probably... Ooh, one thing I forgot to do here. We're going to need a transformer here if we are going to have some machines here, because I don't think there's currently anything that will help against, the bad boogeyman stuff over here that, well, machines exploding when I'm working on them, not going to happen. So let's transfer to the more interesting mechanics that we're going to not really exploit, but experiment with. I'm going to start with getting our lovely little system going as much as we possibly can. First of all, we're obviously going to need a transformer, and why didn't I just use that door? Maybe because it's not obviously a door. Anyways, so let's put this down. Obviously, we're going to need to wrench it to the proper orientation. There we go. And some cabling might be a good alternative. So 7 leagues. Yeah, I don't think being outside is definitely good for my skin. So let's get our wires, which are once again overshot at 7 leagues stride. Is both the most useful and most annoying spell of them all. But oh well. So let's get our cabling going, and here we are. I'm going to put my assembling machine here so as we don't override too much of it. Now, you may notice I did break it, and it says there's 2 overclocker upgrades on this. So it does keep the upgrades when I break it with a wrench. So thankfully we'll be able to have this. So here we are, we have the assembly machine, and I'm gonna see this upgrade should prevent it from having two of the same type of items. Like if there's too many refined iron plates or something like there. It won't clog it with one type of item, it'll allow it to have two types of items no matter what. So if we have, say, other things pushing to those sides, it won't be a problem. Okay, so now we should go like that, or wait, like that. He stole some berry bushes. And then we'll just want to make sure that it's on the correct side. So this should be the output of the machine. So let's get our output going. We're going to need to get that going again. And this is going to be our cornerstone of the machine, where we're going to put electrum and refined iron plates into this so that it'll output it where need be. Now this should push the items out. I'm not too sure if that's actually how it's going to be, but it's also going to start taking energy from the MFE, and this will start going and getting all the energy that we need. Let's see. Interesting. Okay, we're going to need to get all that fuel out there. It seems like all of our oil has dried up in our oil well beta, so we'll go move that pump later. But considering how much oil we have on tap, I don't think that's going to be necessary anytime soon. So let's actually focus on this. So once we get some more of these plates, we can place down a few other machines. Now that I think of it, I might as well remove some of our machines from over here and add it to the assortment and just do some testing of our theory. So let's get that. And this is going to be our plate bending machine. And yes, it's a bender. I know that. And we're going to go put this down over here. Like so. And of course we're going to need to actually have some other things, such as a wire there. But that's just some minor details. It's not like it's going to be necessary for anything. So plate bender there. And now we're going to need to orient it so the output is facing that way. If we shift click, it'll be on this side, but regular click puts it on the opposite end from which you clicked. So let's access this. This mode doesn't really need to be necessary, but this one will push it to the side. This, I think, we'll have as our electrum plates. And now, as you see, our basic circuit boards are currently being made. That is good. Now, I want to see, should we have this as our electrum plates? Let's put it as refined iron plates. So, really, we can just put a refined iron plate in there, and it should push, as you saw, right over there. And now it's in the machine. So if we put another bender up there, let's put this in this slot, and that's for electrum. We'll be able to put it in here. Now, supposedly, if it's empty and we push, say, over a stack of electrum plates, let's actually test that with the refined iron plates when those basic circuit boards are done. We'll need over a stack. We're going to make a lot of circuits anyways, so it's a good experiment to at least test with. But might as well see how that goes. So we got some iron, and let's just make a whole bunch of refined iron and test that. Before we do anything overly fancy with our refined iron plates, let's go check the hopper mechanics and how they interact with all of this. I want to be able to put it into the side if that is possible. So if we put something there, it actually goes into the machine, which is very good. So it seems like this is actually very smart doing it this way. So let's just throw a bunch of our machines there, and it seems like, let's actually, that's interesting. I'm going to pull this stuff out and just see the graphic change. Oh, that's just sweet. There's a plate line when that goes, and those seem like they're rolling, though not much of an animation. In fact, there is no animation, so it's not like it matters too much. So, and it is outputting there, so if we were to put some other things, this hopper does work though. That is good. So in theory, let's put that there, and it is outputting here to the hopper. So this is in fact working the way that we wanted. I think we got a lot of basic circuit boards, but the next part is we're going to need another assembly machine. So let's make another assembly machine for our cables and then get those rolling. We're going to need some refined iron plates, so we might as well take this opportunity to do that little small test since we are making a heck of a lot of them. So we got 49 currently in our system, so if we just throw some in there, we should slowly raise to our maximum. So let's wait until it hits the 64 mark, and then we'll be able to see if it goes past that. If it does, while it's on this setting, then don't know if there's anything we could do about it, though this does seem like a smart enough setting. Okay, 64. Perfect, 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 perfect. That couldn't have gone any better. That means that this system will work and it won't push any more plates into there. I suppose we could have tested it by putting some stuff back into there so that it, well, and remove the stuff from there, but we kind of do need to use this assembling machine to get some more circuits. I think the circuits do kind of take priority in this instance, though that could just be my over-imagination. Over-imagination? You know, I'm just not going to bother trying to correct my vernacular since it's probably not even worth it to go down that long, winding road. But anyways, we're going to need 7 more circuits to get them 2 extra assembling machines, one to finish off the circuit, the other for wires. And then we'll add also a wire mill for the wire parts, the copper wires. And then I think another plate bending machine. The plate bending machine, I think, requires some compressors, which will require some circuits. So 4 circuits and some excess stone. I think we have enough stone lying around. If we don't, I think we know how to get some. Right, so the other parts are obviously going to need to wait a bit for them to be fabricated, since frankly we are going to need to get our alloy stuff going before anything else. Let's see. I'm going to try to construct this thing from memory, our nice little, not our plate bender. It's kind of be stupid to have a plate bender made of plates as its main component in the recipe, but c'est la vie. Okay, so dang it, I'm going to break down. Assembly machine, or assembling machine. I was close enough. I knew something was there. In fact, I think I had it correct before, but just stupid way being stupid and etc. Also being way, but that's another thing entirely. So let's go teleport. Ha! Oh, that actually worked out quite well indeed. And our assembling machine, we'll have one assembling machine for this, and one assembling machine for this. And let's put this, well, this one, it needs to output, maybe actually that'll work out well. If we have a chest right here and a hopper here, we'll still be able to see the cables. I suppose we could use 2 extra cables so that we don't see the cables. That might be good enough. I haven't used this for a while, so we might as well. I don't want to use that. I don't want to use that either. Give me that. Thank you. Let's make another chest. Yeah. Put that in my bar. And this is going to be a little tricky, finicky. We don't need to move the cables. I don't think it'll be necessary. This output is going out like so. Or rather, it should go out like so and into the hopper. Like so. That'll be easy enough to gather all the remaining stuff. Let's have it so that it opens out like that. That will be more aesthetically pleasing, and we need to have a wire going here, so we'll have that set up. And this one needs to go out this way. This has set up there. Good. It'll push. This. Okay, the default assembling machine does work. So, now we'll just need to have a rubber. So, rubber into here. And then for now, since we don't have our wire mill, we'll put our wires into there. So our wires and our rubber will go and make the, well, insulated wires. It will then go into here. Will be where our plates go in. We'll probably need a few overclockers for this setup, but it shouldn't be too taxing. Hopefully not too taxing. If it's too taxing, that could be taxing. What do you expect me to say? Oh no, some sort of literary masterpiece? Not gonna happen. And finally, we'll just need to have our electrum go into some electrum plate thing over here, and copper going down there, and then it should be a nice and, well, a just because system. We could obviously just do it with like two auto crafting systems, but sorry, two auto crafting tables, but that's not nearly as fun as this is. Come on, live a little. Okay, I think we're ready to finish this contraption. We got an automatic wire mill, and I think I'm going to use the alloy smelter as well, just for a bit of added bling, so that it's fully automatic and we don't need to add any electrum. That being said, we could add electrum to it, though I don't think there's any added value to doing so. So wire here for our automatic wire mill, and we'll need to and I don't think that is a good hopperable item. And we're just done with as many electric circuits as we could, so this is a good thing that we're here. Okay, so automatic wire mill, let's set it like so. And it doesn't really matter, we're only adding copper here, and the output is going to want to go in a bit more of a defensible location. Ha! Did I set it? Ha! Now I set it, so it'll go down, and copper will input to the side. So all copper will go into here. Let's set it, and it'll start going at a reasonable rate. That is not what we were supposed to do. How the hell is it doing that? Okay, I'm putting copper in, and for some reason, it's taking it in as one of the outputs. It's not like there's copper in. Why is there copper here? Let's take all the copper. I don't get that. Huh. Maybe if we move this here instead. There's a few oddities that it's probably a hopper issue. Maybe if we set this instead, it might make it a bit better, but this is the whole point of why we're testing all this. You want to make sure that everything is good. And for some reason, copper is still managing to get into the assembling machine where rubber should be. Okay. Oh, huh. That's odd, actually. That's odd. For some reason, it seems like it's going into the hopper. But it should be going like this way instead of down that way. So, if it were to continue like it's supposed to, it wouldn't go into here. However, it is going into here, so that's an odd hopper bug. That means that this is going to be a bit more annoying to automate. That means we're going to have to put the copper in here instead. Right? Are you going to do any odd issues? I don't think you are, so that will be good. Let's put our rubber back into here so that it can go into the machine. And now we know we can't put hoppers right directly over each other, which is a bit of a big problem, especially for this part, seeing that, well, if we use vanilla hoppers. If we use Buildcraft hoppers, that will work, depending on where we go. So our alloy smelter, do we want it here? No, if we put it here, that means we could put it at the side, and we could, let's see, this requires a bit. Let's just get that and work our magic here. Flight, activate, please. Thank you very much. Activate. Good. Okay. So put a wire here and test that this works. And we're going to need to go and obviously wrench this into the proper position. And now it'll be flowing downwards. Now that's assuming that these are in the proper orientation and everything is flowing. And we are getting circuits starting to be made, and we got our first completely, well, not our first completely pre-built circuit, but let's see if that issue persists with this block. So, in theory, we shouldn't have any issue. Wait a second. We won't need this. So we can remove that, and there shouldn't be as much of a problem with it. So if we have a vanilla hopper here, a Buildcraft hopper here, that'll be good. So we won't have to put anything up here, therefore that'll be good. Let's get this quickly. We'll need to construct a Buildcraft hopper in a second. And vanilla hopper here and here. And we'll want gold into here, silver into here. This will make our electrum, assuming it's actually throwing it into the correct slot, which it doesn't seem to be actually. That's odd. Haha. That is very odd. Is this I will only put one into there? Or is it some other issue? So let's try that. It should receive all of the cables that are made here. So that is an odd, maybe a vanilla hopper issue for this not receiving it in the proper dosages. We still have a lot there, but if we were to put it like this, gold will cause issues. Let's rethink this. Before wrapping up, I might as well test if the mode at least holds key, even if it's the reverse to what it's supposed to be. So supposedly this should be good, but let's see if we can throw gold into this and it should input it. It's inputting it, good. Now will it input it to the maximum allowed? We'll have to see. Let's not have that and throw that in there. Dang it, that's not good, so let's put that there. And that is good. And throw the silver in. Wait, that isn't good. Wait a second. Maybe let's take the silver back out so it doesn't add too much more electrum. But if we remove this again, which side does it automatically go into? It goes into the right when it's in the right. So that means if it goes into the right when it's in the right, it'll prevent it from going into here, except if it's here. So that means we have to put the silver into this slot, therefore it'll work perfectly. Why aren't you going in? Is the primary slot... These hoppers. So the hoppers are assuming that this slot is the only one that it can go into. Therefore, a Buildcraft hopper is requisite up here for it to work perfectly. Unless we were to move it there, but then we have the issue with the vanilla hoppers over here. Let's put that there, and let's put this here, and see if that issue is resolved here. Let's put gold here, and it's putting it into here, which is not what we want. For some reason, the vanilla hopper is not working how it's supposed to. It's supposed to go to the side, not the bottom, to the side when I put it to the side. Maybe there's some sort of issue with the wiring of the vanilla stuff, but it is starting to become infuriating. I suppose what I could do... Yeah, that might work. I suppose what I could do is instead output it... No, that doesn't work. Wait. This thing. Does that mean it shares the power? So let's take that. Said take that. And I'm assuming this mode means that it shares power to the ones that are beside it. So if that is the case, we can throw refined iron into here. And it should be able to, well, continue output it to the correct side. If it does. Are you even outputting? Are you even outputting to the correct side? Okay. Yep, apparently you were. Maybe it just doesn't accept it. Huh. One moment. Okay, let's see if this actually works how I planned. Just having hoppers fed into one another. This will probably give so much buffering room, it's unbelievable. But just throwing our refined iron into here should throw it into the plate bender here. Then it'll go to the right into here. Then we should be able to, assuming this actually works, it may not, throw our silver in here, gold into here. If we were to somehow remove our silver at any given point, let's remove the silver and move that there. what will happen? I don't think anything, so this does seem like it'll work. I suppose we could put gold and silver in here, but I like having two buffer rooms. So this will then go into one of these machines, this one, good. So electrum is going into here, which then goes into here, which then makes those plate things, which go into here, which then make the circuits, and goes into here. So if we get a bit of construction foam to cover this up, I think this will be good. Maybe we can also use a few plates to cover this up. Does this look good? Eh. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Resonance Rises. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. And it's not using too much energy. That's good. WayofTime here, signing off. Have a wonderful day.